new champion rarity card has just been released in Clash Royale, and it's already taking over the meta. The Little Prince is a 3 elixir troop with the range of a Royal Giant, the max DPS of an X-Bow, and enough health to survive a Fireball. And if that wasn't enough on its own, its champion ability allows it to call in a Guardian with similar stats to a Knight to plow through defenses, clearing a path to your opponent's tower. Most people are in agreement that this card is already too strong, and with a usage rate of around 60%, it's safe to say Supercell released this card in an unbalanced state. But why is this? Surely it can't be that difficult to release a balanced card. Well, in reality, it's always been like this. Almost every single card is released into the game in an unbalanced, broken state. Just look at the Phoenix on release, it had a 77% usage rate. Or the Elixir Golem, that thing was unbeatable on release.
What? I don't speak Golem. Does anyone here?
Or even cards we tend to forget about these days, like the Goblin Drill. I bet you haven't seen anybody use the Goblin Drill in ages, but on release, just like every other card before and after it, was broken. You might just assume this is all because poor balancing by the developers on a card's release, and that they've just not learned from their mistakes, but I believe they're doing all this on purpose. I believe the developers at Supercell are purposefully releasing cards in an unbalanced state for a multitude of reasons. One of these reasons, this being the most believable one, is that they're doing this for the money. And you may be thinking, why would Supercell purposefully peeve its fans off by releasing a terribly balanced card and expect to profit from it? When you think about it, why would anybody rush to max out a mediocre card? Why would anybody buy these new card bundles in the store when there's no real point in using the card in-game? And this wouldn't be a far-fetched idea at all. We all know how money-hungry Supercell are, and if they have the opportunity to make even more money, capitalizing off their fans' desire to win games, they'll do it without a second thought. And if that wasn't enough to convince you, then think of the amount of coverage online a perfectly balanced card would get on release compared to a broken one. When you release a broken card on release, you're giving the fans something to talk about. And even if it is in a negative way, any attention is good attention for a game like Clash Royale, because no matter how much a player complains about the game, at the end of the day, they're still going to keep playing. Not just because they're addicted, but because they've spent so much money on the game already that it would be a waste to give it away for something that will be fixed eventually anyway. And it's not just Clash Royale using this strategy to benefit themselves. Another Supercell game uses this exact same strategy, and this time it is certainly not a coincidence. Just like Clash Royale, Brawl Stars is also infamous for its terrible balancing on release, maybe even more so. I mean, look at how overpowered brawlers like Amber were at release. They pretty much beg you to buy these characters up front. But what's even worse are the chromatic brawlers. These brawlers are only unlocked through their respective battle passes on release. So if you want to play them while they're broken, instead of waiting to be able to unlock them for free when they've been inevitably nerfed, you quite literally have to pay money to get them. I mean, they should at least make them obtainable for free somehow, even if it does require you to sit in your room rotting away for hours grinding. But anyway, back to Clash Royale. Alongside these new champion cards being released every however long, each month we're also getting a new addition to the broken on-release roster, these being evolution cards. Look, I get that these cards are supposed to be super strong and more usable than your average non-evolved card, but that still doesn't excuse the fact that these cards hold the exact same issues regular cards do. More often than not, they're broken on release. And what do you know? You have to buy these evolution cards with real money as well. And yet, you can get them for free technically, but statistically, in the best case scenario, I'm talking about getting free shards from the store or winning them from events, you can probably get a new evolution card completely free of charge every 2 to 3 months. But can you see the issue here? How in the world is a free-to-play player ever going to even think about maxing their account when the game is releasing 3 evolution cards before you can even legitimately obtain one of them? And the thing is, It's so unbelievably easy for Supercell to just give us more opportunities to win free evolution shards. They don't even have to make them easier to get, they just have to make them more abundant, just as long as it's possible for a free-to-play player to be able to experience every evolution card. Anyway, I hope eventually in the future of not just Clash Royale, but of all Supercell games, the devs can just make it a little easier on free-to-play players, because honestly, it just isn't fair right now. And yes, at the end of the day, it's about business and how much of a profit you can rack up in order to keep adding to the game and future Supercell projects. But right now, most of Supercell games are on a pretty steady decline in both their player base and player morale. Appealing to the community would be a great idea in times like these, because there are just too many people quitting the game, and for valid reasons. The only real criticism I have of Clash Royale is that it's pay to win. If Supercell just removed or even lessened this aspect of the game, then what really is there for people to complain about or to quit about? Just look at Clash of Clans. Yes, it may be a little pay to win, still more than your average game. It remains a classic game loved by its community, and most importantly, its casual player base because of its free-to-play friendly nature. I truly believe Clash Royale would be held to the same high standards of Clash of Clans if the devs just listened to the community a little bit more. But in the end, I still love this game. In fact, it's one of my favourites of all time. And if you're still watching up to this point, I'm sure it's one of yours as well. And whatever changes Supercell decide to make for this game in the future, I'll always be here, rooting for its success, and throwing my phone at a wall after seeing my whole push get evaporated by a level 15 Mega Knight at the bridge. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my first video of many. Let me know if you enjoyed, give me some critique in the comments, leave a like if you enjoyed, and finally, have a great day.